I don't think our team expected to get a history lesson when we showed up at our venue this weekend for a show. Our host contact told us when we got there that in this area there were several people that still did the fishing in the old-fashioned way, in that they would go to Alaska for months at a time and live there, and then come back and bring back all of the things that they caught. And so this venue was in this little hut, in a sense, a little fisher's hut that they had kind of remodeled and made this really nice hangout area, and it had like some heaters, so it was like partially outside. It was really cool. And as she was telling us this, she also told us that this was a trial thing for them, because she had done a murder mystery in the past and it hadn't gone very well. It was with a different company, and so her husband was really kind of nervous, and he's like, can we not do a murder mystery, because I don't really want to do that. And she's like, well, the website looked good, let's give them a shot. And so already we're like, okay, we are gonna make sure that this is good. So they came with their families, and families mean kids, and kids change things sometimes. So the first couple kids arrived, and they were pretty subdued, they were kind of mellow, they were a little shy. But then as other kids showed up, there were really 4 total that were pretty young, and once they got there, it was that synergy thing. And so one kid being shy by himself then became 4 kids being rambunctious and running around this tiny little hut where there's really nowhere to run. They were running through this Christmas tree made of lights, so there was a pole in the middle, and then light strands were strung like Christmas tree part in angles like that, and they were weaving in between these lights and like shaking the whole thing, and I'm like, something is gonna break. So I came up in character and said, hey guys, we're gonna play a game, alright, have you heard of Ninja? And so I teach them this game, Ninja, which means you have to stand in a circle and move very slightly. And so I got them playing that for a while, and it stopped them from running around, and I was like, yes. I think I was able to relieve some of that pressure of, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen with these kids running around? And as the show started, they weren't even sitting at one of the tables, they happened to be sitting on these little couches, so they weren't really split into teams, but they were very aware of what was going on and wanted to be a part of it. So then I was like, okay, well, how do I keep them involved, engaged, without like losing attention? Because I didn't want to ruin it for the adults and have them miss all the clues and have it be a waste, especially since the host was already coming from an experience that wasn't great. So I thought of a way to involve them, and so I had 4 little gumshoes following me around as the detective, and I gave them each a responsibility. One of them carried my badge and proved that I was a real detective by shoving it in the face of the suspect that I had to interrogate. Somebody had my notepad, somebody had my pen, and when I said paper, pen, they gave me the paper and the pen, and I went from there. I had somebody else being like the ghost of Christmas future, pointing at the next person that needed to be spoken to, and I followed along, and there was this little posse following me around. I think it was really cool to see them be really engaged, and while the suspects were talking with someone else, they were up and whispering in my ear like, oh, I think it was that person because of this and that and whatever. And so we were able to keep the whole crowd of kids engaged in a way that gave them an experience and gave the adults the experience that we want them to have with the Murder Mystery Company. And it was so much fun. I could tell that it was a relief for the parents, because they didn't really have to like, hey, stop that, knock it off, you know, they didn't really have to watch their kids that much, and it gave the kids an opportunity to be involved, and I loved it. It was so encouraging for me because it challenged me. It gave me a chance to figure out how can I still conduct this show but involve somebody in a way that, you know, obviously this isn't always designed for kids. This was an adult show that we were doing. It worked out so well, and it was so fun, and I think the result was everyone afterward was so grateful, and they're like, thank you so much, this was a blast, you guys did a great job and whatnot. And the host walked away knowing that there are some companies out there that do a great job with this, and she doesn't need to be nervous if she finds the right company. AIT, hint hint. And so I think it was a great experience, and the crowd loved it, and we got the kids involved as well. And so I think I was able to go above and beyond in that sense and make sure that we made an adult show still engaging for kids who had to be there because their parents were there and they had nowhere to go. So it was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing another show with kids for sure.